everybody, and welcome in to Blue Jays Today. Trade deadline's passed. I slept on it. I reflected. I thought about it once again. And we have our verdict, everybody. Did the Toronto Blue Jays cook yesterday? Did Ross Atkins put on his best Gordon Ramsay hat, get in the kitchen, and do what needed to be done for this Toronto Blue Jays squad? Or was it a missed opportunity that saw some of those other American League teams take a step up while Toronto didn't keep up? We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about the remainder of this season as a whole because the roster is set, folks. The Toronto Blue Jays team that could win the World Series this year, it has been decided. We know what it will look like. And then, of course, we will look at that upcoming series this weekend. Welcome into the 63 people, actually 132 people. It just updated right there. Welcome in, folks. Both Adam and I's vocal cords are feeling it just a little bit after yesterday.
Yeah, and this morning I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to shoot a video that you'll see coming out tomorrow. Spoiler, it's about the trades, but I go into a little bit of a recap in my own personal opinion. But they hurt. I had Halls for breakfast.
Nice, me too.
Before I had a coffee or anything, I had a Hall. So, but we appreciate all of you guys for coming out for the stream. It was legendary. It was awesome. We were getting texts from the network being like, hey, great stream. And we appreciate it. It wouldn't be a great stream if it weren't for all you guys engaging and having as much fun as we had. So what we'll do in this one, folks, we'll look over the trades and let's make the verdict of whether this is good enough for the Blue Jays to actually go on a legit run, and did they improve compared to their AL opponents?
Well, and that's the most important thing, right? Because you can make the decision about whether or not the team improved, and they did. Like, I'll say that right 100%. Now. Toronto Blue Jays got better, but it's all comparatively speaking to the rest of the American League. How much better did the Blue Jays get in comparison to the Yankees, which we'll be taking a look at? The Astros, the Seattle Mariners, who did go balls to the wall, and even though they were kind of quiet yesterday, they had already made all their big moves prior to that, so they were kind of chilling when it was all said and done in crunch time.
And also, I'll toss in this too. It's like, you got to look at the rosters of where they were before the deadline and after the deadline, because I think we can all agree the Blue Jays roster was looking mighty good before the deadline. And just because they didn't make as many moves as another team doesn't necessarily mean that they're now worse than that team.
Right? Of course. Now, I do see people in the chat saying, pop bottles for Varland. So let's start with that. Is Louis Varland worthy of popping a bottle? As many of you folks know, we got a champagne bottle. We had it chilling in the fridge. We had a list of all of the individuals that we would be willing to pop a bottle for. Louis Varland wasn't on that list because he just wasn't on the list in general. And that's because, honestly, you can blame me for this. I didn't think that a guy who was signed through till 2031 would be on the move, but I think that Minnesota just shocked a ton of people yesterday when
they shocked their own fans when they traded this guy.
They cleaned house, dude. They got rid of everything. The only guy that they didn't get rid of really is Joe Ryan, and they were apparently very close to doing so with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, they might have been at a point where they were like, you know what are we doing, guys? They might have had a realization moment where, why don't we just trade this guy if we're trading everybody? And then obviously time ran out and they didn't get it done. Also, shout out here to Chris Reimer here with the $6.99 dono. Told you boys about Varland. Great to have. And he was
seriously. The W's in the chat there for Chris. You did. I believe you were the person that brought it up yesterday. And again, blame me for this. I saw the 2031 and I'm just like, why would... It doesn't make any sense, right? Because, I mean, 2031, the fact of this thing, guys, we're in 2025 right now. Like, think about actually how long that guy is controllable on the Toronto Blue Jays. It's almost like we just got a rookie.
Right.
That's actually, it's basically what it feels like.
You traded for a rookie. And also shout out to Taylor Paul with the $2 saying, having pizza for lunch. Congrats on the sponsor. Dude, all right, clipping that, sending it to the network. Pizza sponsor is working absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about Varland and answer the question that you brought up. Is it worth popping a bottle for? Now, everyone in the chat's saying yes. However, I'm going to be completely honest. If I saw someone popping a bottle over Louis Varland, I'd be like, all right, guys, let's chill a little bit here. He's great. I love the control. He's having a good season. But it's still early. You know, he's basically a rookie, like you said. Right?
That's right.
Not a big sample size, not a big track record.
Not a huge sample size at all. The guy's got 192.2 innings played at the MLB level. This is technically his 4th season I got to look at his contract because I'm kind of surprised that he signed through 2031. Technically his 4th season. He's never pitched more than 68 innings. That was the most that he ever pitched, and that was in 2023, where the guy didn't actually finish out that well. He had a 4.63 ERA. Last year, it actually got a lot worse. 49.2 innings. The dude had a 7.61 ERA. But then this year, he's effectively matched the inning total that he had last season, and he is doing it at a, I don't know what the right adjective here is, but like way better than what we've ever seen him do before.
A 7th man and 8th man, you know? That's
100%.
Right now.
Yeah, this is a setup guy. Looking over at the Baseball Savant page, there's a lot of stuff to like here.
Yeah, obviously the velo is one that sticks out right now, averaging at 98.1 miles per hour. Everything else kind of works off it too. The breaking run value is really good. Changeup, off-speed stuff isn't really there, but you can clearly see like
massive
what's the
difference.
Look at the miles per hour that's just ticking up year after year. He was at 93 back in 2022.
That's actually nuts.
I know.
You added 5 miles per hour, basically?
I mean, think about it, right? 2022, he's probably a 24-year-old. He's getting stronger. He's getting better. And now he's up to 98.1. So obviously that has a major impact on the other pitches working so effectively when you got such a great pitch. Now, that's obviously a positive thing for signs to come, but you can't guarantee things in baseball. I remember when we first traded for Zach Pop, and he was having a very good season with the Miami Marlins, and we were like, wow, look at this control, amazing year, but not a proven track record, and then all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, that guy fell off. So I want to keep everyone grounded here. He's a great player. I can't wait to watch him, and he's going to help out the Blue Jays this season. But you never know what can happen in the future.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, this is somebody that's been on a roller coaster of a career so far, right? Now, we are seeing the high of that roller coaster right now, but we also saw the low just 12 months ago. I think what I love about this trade so much, though, is that you do have all of this time with him. So there's going to be a year where it's probably a bit of a down year, but there's also going to be years, too, where you see Louis Varland just, like, absolutely explode like he is right now. And Pete Walker can really sink his hooks into a guy like this who's got a 98 average fastball coming at him. Like, you can work with somebody like that. They said that they wanted to go out and get a flamethrower for that pen, and that's effectively what they did right there with Louis Varland, and of course Sir Anthony Dominguez as well. He throws some gas too.
Yeah, like we don't have any stuff brought up for him, but I figured we kind of already talked about it. But just for the sake of the trade deadline verdict, he is a big part of that. That's a major addition to the bullpen. Flamethrower, he's been doing it. He's got great stuff to work off that fastball. He's got a beautiful sinker, beautiful changeup. So him and Varland paired together, for me, I needed that as the bare minimum to feel satisfied with going out and helping that bullpen.
Bullpen is definitely reinforced right now. And I think, too, with a guy like Varland, like, you got him till 2031, which just feels insane to me. So very, very cheap contract for years to come. And ultimately, when you consider the going rate for some of the other bullpen pieces that were out there, I mean, we saw the top 3 prospect in all of baseball go for a bullpen guy, albeit a much more proven bullpen guy, but still a bullpen guy nonetheless. I mean, Toronto Blue Jays, they gave up Alan Rodin, and then it was Rojas that was part of this deal as well, right?
I believe it was. Yeah, so Alan Rodin, again, a guy that was, you know, from a Blue Jays perspective, like, he was kind of the swingman on the roster. He's probably going to be in that role at least for the foreseeable future, including next year, right? When you look at Varsho and you still got Santander and you still got George Springer in there, like, Alan Rodin wasn't going to come up and help this team really anytime soon. So you had to flip him, and I made this prediction saying you got to flip one of these dudes because there's no playing time, and then you go send what became your 5th overall prospect after you sent away the other 5th overall prospect, which was who was it here? It was
they gave up Cal Steven.
Cal Steven, right. And then he bumped up to the 5th. It was 6th at the beginning of the day, but that's a very solid trade for a controllable piece. And then, of course, you will talk about Ty France in a moment.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? With Alan Rodin, it just felt like there wasn't that much space open for him. And when you do have a healthy Anthony Santander come back, it's effectively like there's just no roster spot for you right now, and you're not going to get the playing time with us. So to take that dude and then flip him for a piece that we desperately needed and really only give up your 5th-ranked prospect in your system, I think that's a W.
Yeah.
When we walked into this trade deadline, what did we want? 1 starting pitcher, 2 bullpen arms. That was like okay, this is the bar. You got to do this. That's why we're, I'm content. I don't think they went over it, but I'm also very happy that they hit the standard
right
without giving up Arjun Amala, Trey Savage, Ricky Tiedemann, any of the names that all of you guys were commenting, don't trade him. You can't get rid of this guy. They didn't. Ross held on to them.
Prospect Huggers won. The prospect Huggers won.
Well, but I don't even think it's just the Prospect Huggers, though. I would argue, everyone kind of made out like a bandit here. The Prospect Huggers can feel good about themselves because, you gave up a little bit, but you didn't go crazy. You still got the guys that you can feel really good about in Arjun and Trey, and you still got those top 100 dudes. You can also feel good if you're one of those individuals that wanted the Toronto Blue Jays to buy and reinforce this team, because I think they did that as well. I guess if you wanted them to go all in, put all the chips in the middle, Ross didn't do that.
Right.
But still, I mean, it feels like everybody kind of won here.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of hinting towards the verdict, but I think Ross Atkins was a very smart man when it came to this deadline. Didn't get dumb like we wanted him to get and just go and spend all the prospects and mortgage the future and go all in. He was very smart because he took a look at the roster, knew what he needed to get done, and did it, and didn't have to go over the top and mess and just totally change things and bring in all these personnel that maybe would work, maybe wouldn't work.
Right. Now, a quick shout out here to Oxen with the $6.99 dono saying mock trade Mike Trout for Santander, Loperfido, Namala. I was trying to talk myself into something crazy like that yesterday. And I love that you just said that, Oxen. W's in the chat for Oxen. Because also Aaron's in here too saying, Nick, you were ready to send all of them out yesterday.
Yep.
And honestly, I definitely was. There was a moment of time there where the panic was setting in. And this was at that moment where I kept using the analogy, it's 2 a.m., you're at the bar, we got to make a choice. And Yankees, they were making a choice. We're going to get to what they were doing. They were going out like absolute animals, buying everything and everybody, and targeting a lot of the guys that Adam and I were interested in.
Yeah, that Duvall trade was really...
That Duvall trade was
a stab in the heart.
Yes, that one hurt, because that was a buzzer beater for the Yankees, and that was a guy that I was kind of holding on to and being like, please, Ross, go out, do it. Stephen Kwan rumors were heating up throughout the whole day, and I really talked myself into the fact that this guy would save us and change everything. Inevitably, that didn't happen.
You were a guy at the bar that was just hammered, and your whole world became that bar.
I know, I had to leave with somebody, and you know what? And that's why when they did go out and they got this trade done with Louis Varland and Ty France. Everything that flipped everything for me.
Went home with two.
Exactly. That literally flipped everything for me, because walking in, grounding myself here, I wanted two bullpen guys. I wanted a starting pitcher. In a perfect world, I would have preferred a slightly better bat. Granted, he's been hot recently, and we'll talk about him. But still, I think that they did what they needed to do.
They did what they needed to do. So we'll talk about the Bieber, and we'll talk about the Ty France trade in just a moment. Before we do, guys, let's give a quick shout out to Budweiser, everybody. Batters up, and the Buds are stepping up to the plate. Budweiser is encouraging all Buds to make time for baseball this summer. It is the official partner of your Toronto Blue Jays. Baseball is better with your Buds. Limited edition Toronto Blue Jays Budweiser cans are now available at your local LCBO. This guy right here, Ty France, is someone we have to talk about because I feel like he was a toss-in, and we kind of just glazed over him, didn't really look at him, and we looked at the OPS overall, and we're like, you're kind of mid. You might have just been like a guy that the Twins just wanted to get rid of, but clearly on a one-year deal, they didn't need to get rid of him. The Blue Jays were actually looking at him, and you look at the numbers, like I said, not the sexiest, but since the All-Star break, if you really want to hang your hat on something, he's been pretty good. A 286 batting average, an 805 OPS. Maybe something to build off.
Keeping in mind this is only a 9-game sample size, so just understand that we are talking about the smallest size of samples here. I think for me, I'm not going to hold my breath and get excited about Ty France. I'm not going to say that this is going to drastically change the offense. However, I'm slightly biased towards Ty France because I still remember back in the day when I had him on my fantasy team. It was 2021 or 2022 or whatever his best year was. I remember I had him, and I think I picked him up off of waivers because nobody wanted him, and he just popped off and went crazy. So there is a small soft spot for me when it comes to Ty France. And I also think, too, that coming off of the bench, this is is somebody that has been there and done that before. I think that you can trust him to be probably a low 700 OPS guy. I know that's not going to, again, drastically change the makeup of this team like a Roman Laureano would have, or a Eugenio Suarez or anything like that. But I also think that when you're kind of connecting all of the pieces, all the dots here, it fits into what Whit Merrifield was saying a lot, where, well, you want to make an addition to the squad. You want to go out and you want to address that righty hitter. You want to get that guy, but you also don't want to completely disrupt the flow and the rhythm of what has been a very successful offense. Alan Roden, maybe there was a couple guys in the clubhouse that really liked Alan Roden and were a little bummed out, but it wouldn't be it's not the same as trading away a guy like Ernie Clement, who's been there for years and who is established in that clubhouse. They didn't do that. All of the key pieces on the 26-man roster stayed on the 26-man roster, and they just added in what is going to be a serviceable bench bat.
Yeah, and also, we didn't really have an actual first baseman. I mean, shout out to Ernie Clement, and got to give him a lot of credit for filling in for Vlad at first base occasionally, and Will Wagner too, but he's obviously gone now. This guy's actually very good at first base. Like, I was actually shocked to see that I think he's in the 95th
95, baby.
In terms of outs above average at the first base bag. So shout out to him. That's a legit replacement you could have for Vladdy if he needs an off day down the stretch, if you need to DH Vlad. There you go. He can go fill it at first base. And here's the thing. Someone brought up in the chat, I don't know who it is, but really good runners in scoring position numbers this season. In 90 at-bats, this guy's batting .311 with an OPS of .746.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this is going to be your, maybe pinch hitter in the 7th or the 8th, or when Vladdy needs a day off, you're going to put him in. Going to be in the lineup. If the Jays are playing 6 games a week, then maybe you see Ty France 2 of those 6 games, right? It's not going to be every single day, but it's something to help the boys make it through what is a 162-game season. Now, let's talk a little bit about Shane Bieber, because this has the potential to be the best move of the deadline. It does. It actually does.
If he pitches like a Cy
If
Young.
he pitches, that's why I said potential, because the Toronto Blue Jays ultimately didn't give up that much to acquire Shane Bieber, and it is all because, as you can see right now, he is still on the 60-day IL. Yesterday, somebody tweeted out, I forget which one it was either Keegan or Ben Nicholson-Smith, or one of the insiders said that Shane Bieber is going to sit down with the Blue Jays front office today, and they're going to discuss when he is going to pitch next, how they're going to operate. I don't expect him to be out for that much longer. They traded with him knowing that this was a thing, and they're going to want to get him back sooner rather than later. And if he does return to what he used to do, holy shit, holy crap, we got a guy.
Well, let's talk about where he's at in his progression, because I'm agreeing with you. If he comes back soon, he could be very good. He threw 57 pitches last time out for the Cleveland Guardians minor league team. I forget which one exactly it was. But his plan was then to go and do a rehab assignment the following Sunday. So expect the Blue Jays to probably keep that same timetable with him, keep him going for the Sunday. And then at that point, maybe you do make a decision with this team. Do you bring up Shane Bieber when he's ready? And honestly, guys, when I'm looking at Shane Bieber and what he did in that rehab start, so far he's had 2 outings, 11 1/3, and he's got 21 strikeouts. I get it. They're minor leaguers. But Bieber hasn't pitched in 2 years, and he's dicing people up right now. That's a great sign for me. And I think he's got the potential to start game 1, game 2, game 3. Right? One of those games he could potentially start. Kevin Gausman's kind of rounding into form right now. Bieber would be right there because, Jose Barrios and Bassett have kind of been up and down, shaky, inconsistent. That might change by the time you get to September. But Bieber's got a legit chance, and that's where the upside is. If he can go on a deep postseason run with this team, that's a huge win for the Jays.
100%. Shout out to Paul from Toronto right here. $2 donation update on Varsho, Kirk, and Springer
we'll get to that
for tonight. We will talk about that shortly, dude. But W's in the chat there from Paul from Toronto. Thank you very much for donating. Shout out to the 500 people, by the way, who are watching right now. I saw some people asking, are you going to be live for the game later today? I will be. Adam's going home to see the fam for a little bit, so I'm going to hold down the fort, folks. But come on in to the Friday night stream. I'm excited to watch. Some of the boys. Excited to watch some of the new boys potentially play for the lads tonight. So should be very good there. To kind of round out the thoughts here on Shane Bieber, I also love the acquisition, when you're looking at exactly what went down with the starting pitcher market around MLB. Because really the only other starter that got dealt that was of, significant impact was Merrill Kelly.
Yeah.
And he went for significantly more prospect capital than Shane Bieber did. And rightfully so. Merrill Kelly's been phenomenal. If you had to ask me, okay, who would you rather have? I might take Merrill Kelly because he is healthy and he has done it so far this season, and he's done it for a while.
It's a safer option.
It's absolutely a safer option, 100% safer option. But other than that, there really wasn't any big-time starters that went. Sandy stayed put. Edward Cabrera stayed put. Zach Gallen stayed put. I mean, out of all of the starting pitchers, like it was Shane Bieber and it was Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, those are the top ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you could argue that the Toronto Blue, and depending on how Shane Bieber performs, I mean, you might be able to argue a month, 2 months from now, that the Toronto Blue Jays ended up with the best starting pitcher at the deadline.
Absolutely.
That's a wild thing, right? We hadn't been thinking about that when it happened, but
I agree, because we're all thinking about the guys that could go, and they didn't. Shout out to East Coast Blue Jays with a $1.49 donation. Shout out to you, just got salt. Hell yeah. Love that flavor. Phil Bourne with a $5 donation saying, fun question, if Scherzer and Bieber are both dealing by the end of the year, what do you do in the playoffs? And I will take directly from JD Bunkus, and I totally believe this. If Scherzer's looking like Scherzer of the old, and old as in not in the age he's right now, of the young, then how do you not give him a playoff start? If he's looking like 7 innings, 1 earned run, 2 earned run, yes, same thing with Shane Bieber, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 2 earned run, 0 earned run. They get playoff starts because they've done it before.
I think it's, honestly, though, I do believe you could argue that with a lot of the guys on this roster.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a seasoned Toronto Blue Jays pitching rotation. Just think about the names. You try to take away all the recency bias, but the Toronto Blue Jays in their pitching rotation right now have Max Scherzer, Shane Bieber, Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett, Jose Barrios.
And Eric Lauer.
And then you can sprinkle in Eric Lauer. Just from a name value, every single one of those guys, even Eric Lauer, has had incredible years in the MLB in the past.
They're all over 30 years old.
That's the thing. They're all veterans. So it's a cop-out answer, but it really comes down to who's playing the best in September.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing good in September, I'm actually totally fine with any of these guys starting a game 1 or a game 2 because they've all done it. They've all been there before. And if you're the guy that's throwing the ball the best right now, fuck it. Throw them out there.
Yeah, and I love the good competition within the clubhouse right there. Who wants to get that ball in games 1 through 4, right? Let's say we go to the ALDS. Hell, even the wildcard series, even more pressure. There are 6 of you guys. You throw in Alek Manoah in the mix. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's 7 now. Who wants the ball? Like, you got to go and perform at your best down the stretch. And I think that will just help everybody play better and want to get better because selfishly, they're going to, or selfishly, they're going to want to get the ball
100%.
in game 1, 2, or 3. So go prove it.
And think about how much of a, I guess just an ego thing that would be for any of those boys. It's like, look at the rotation around you. Look at your peers. Bassett, Scherzer, Bieber, Gausman. Let's just say, for instance, Jose Barrios gets the ball in game 1. Not saying it's going to happen, but just think that he did. Think about how you're feeling about yourself right now. They could have picked Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett, Eric Lauer to start game 1, and they picked me.
I know.
Multiple of those guys have won Cy Youngs before.
I know.
And you are now. So, of course, there's going to be that friendly competition. I think it's a good thing. I like the veteran rotation that we have. And, hell, if you get anything out of Alek Manoah at this point, we're laughing.
Absolutely. Yo, shout out to the Hot Corner, the $1.99 donut, saying that was a sneaky good deadline. Favorite pickup, my favorite pickup. I mean, you got to go with Bieber. Because, again, you have that upside. And that's what we were talking about for months, actually, leading into the deadline. You got to get an ace dude. Looking at all the dudes that went off the board, I think we have the best chance to have the ace dude pick up at the deadline.
It's between Bieber or Varland for sure. Varland, if Varland can keep doing what he's doing for an extended period of time, wow, that's going to be amazing because you do have him forever. I'm going to reserve my answer until I see Shane Bieber's first start.
Yeah.
I got to see the first start, and if it looks good, that's the guy.
And we got to go live for that, man.
Damn
That's
right.
going to be a lot of fun
100%.
to watch Bieber deal out there on the mound. But, guys, shout out to the 532 of y'all that are in here right now after the trade deadline. What a legendary stream
We
that
were
was.
so close to getting to 33,000 subscribers, by the way, guys. I think we were like 30 away,
yeah.
when the stream ended. So if you guys haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to get to 33,000 today. East Coast Blue Jays, are you happy with the bullpen we have now? Great question. Let's flash over. This bullpen is looking deep. Is it San Diego Padres levels of deep after they brought in Mason Miller? No, maybe not. But still, you're looking at a pen right now that if you get to the 6th inning and you got a 1-run lead, I'm feeling pretty confident we're going to be able to hold that 1-run lead with the high leverage individuals that we have right now.
Yeah, like take a look at this, everybody. Obviously, they have 9 right here. They have to make a roster move eventually for when they do. Let's play like Shane Bieber's in this rotation right now. Let's forget about Alek Manoah for right now. Let's say Shane Bieber's in this rotation. They also have 9 here. This is a glitch. It needs to be 8. So let's say Paxton Schultz is gone, and they have to make a move between Nance or Fluharty. Let's say that's a slash right there for the final spot once you bring in Bieber. Your rotation will look like Jeff Hoffman, Yariel Rodriguez, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Louis Varland, Brandon Little, who we love and trust, big breakout. Same with Braden Fisher as well. And then you get that slash right there for the final spot.
It's either Tommy Nance or Fluharty.
Tommy Nance
Who do you want?
Fluharty, and then maybe like are you moving Eric Lauer to the pen? Like that's a discussion for later. But that's very good. And you know who we're not even considering right now? The possibility of Jimmy Garcia when he comes back from injury. Now, we don't know how good he's going to be when he comes back, but let's say there's some upside there. That guy could replace that slash mark of Fluharty and Tommy Nance.
Exactly.
Very good.
And what I love about that, too, is that Jimmy Garcia, yes, he's got upside. JD Bunkus was pretty concerned about him yesterday. He was saying that he'd heard from some individuals that Jimmy's not looking great right now. So I don't want to pour water on the flames here, but
it's just upside.
Yeah, exactly. Like we got to be real here. And Sandlin as well. There's another name.
Yeah.
I think it's great because both of those guys, Jimmy and Sandlin, in years prior, they come off the IL and they're immediately thrown into a high leverage spot. And it's like, okay, Jimmy, we need you to be the Jimmy that you were several months ago when you were healthy. We need you to lock it down in the 8th. That's not the case anymore. Jimmy comes back. Guess what, guy? You're the 5 up, 5 down while you figure it out.
Yeah,
and then if you look good and you're throwing it hard like you used to and you are getting the outs, well, now we can talk about moving you up. So no stress, no pressure whatsoever for those guys. If they're not playing good, that's totally fine because, well, then we can just go back to Mason Fluharty or whoever it is.
Well, that's an amazing... See, this is why I love this deadline and why it was a sneaky good deadline. Because now with those 2 additions to the pen, it's full.
It is pretty full.
When everyone's healthy, it's full now.
It's full.
And now you're sending down Fluharty that you don't mind seeing coming in games, and Tommy Nance and whatever. Like, there's guys there that it's completely full. And the rotation can't get any more full. We're going to run into a problem soon where it's going to have to be a 7-man rotation when you get Alek Manoah back in a month. It's a 6-man when you get Bieber back, but that's going to be beneficial for the age. And then looking over at the lineup, could you have made a Steven Kwan trade? Could you have made a Eugenio Suarez trade? Sure, that would be the all-in move, but we've been talking about it for months. This hasn't been the problem of the team. First in average, first in on-base percentage, 7th in runs scored. Hell, they're right average in home runs.
Yeah,
it's not a problem. They're average.
Sneaky thing right there.
It's a sneaky thing. 6 in OPS. So the offense was never the problem, and that you saw that there's really no one you'd want to take out of the lineup because everyone's performing average, if not above average, and above their career averages. So for me, that's why the Blue Jays didn't need to go out and make all these splashy trades and get a crap load of guys. They got the guys necessary to improve this team, and I think because of that, my verdict is the Blue Jays got better, and they do have a chance at a World Series run.
Yeah, they addressed their needs right there. Now, they weren't the only ones that did address the needs. There were some other teams in the American League that went hard in the paint, folks. Let's take a look over at, let's start with the New York Yankees, because they had me crashing out a little bit right there. And really what it was is when they went out and not only got David Bednar, but also got Jake Bird, and then also got Camilo Doval, and they were just eating up bullpen pieces. And keep in mind, this is before this was before the Toronto Blue Jays got Louis Varland, and after we traded Will Wagner away for the Double-A catcher there. That I mean, if anything comes out of him, awesome. That's great. I'm not going to hold my breath there, but Yankees went hard in the paint for sure. They got better. Are we concerned?
Real quick, shout out to W's in chat for Ann. I see everyone throwing it in there for the Blue Jays Today gifted membership. Oh, and we got another one here from Paul from Toronto. W's from Paul from Toronto. I mean, Here's the thing. They did get really good in that.
They got better.
The bullpen is very filthy. You know, when we're looking over right here, when you add Camilo Duvall, who was already the closer
over on
the
San Francisco
Giants, you add David Bednar, who's the closer on the Pirates. Granted, it's the Pirates. You can make an argument. Blah, blah, blah. Then you already got Devin Williams, who's the closer over there on the Milwaukee Brewers just a year ago. Luke Weaver, who was their closer and at times. This is a very, very deep bullpen. And
do you like their bullpen better than ours, or do you like our pen better than theirs?
There's a strong argument for both to both be better.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on how they do down the stretch. Obviously, I really liked our pen. Their pen was performing worse than ours. They do add 2 legit closers. That is huge. That's obviously... You know, just because they have the status of closer doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than Varland and Sir Anthony Dominguez. You could compare numbers all day long, and you could probably find a lot of similarities between the guys.
And there's only one inning that you can close, and now you got 3 guys that can do it. I think honestly, what if I was a Yankee fan, what I would like about this a lot is that Devin Williams in the closer role this year has actually been pretty ass. But then when they moved him to the 8th inning, he was all of a sudden really, really good. And so now that you're the Yankees and you did go out and you got David Bednar and you did go out and you got Camilo Duvall, I'm expecting for Devin Williams to no longer be the closer there. I think they're going to move him to the 8th inning, and I think that you're going to see one of David Bednar and Camilo Duvall. Maybe it's a committee, maybe whatever they want to do, but I think that you're also going to see Devin Williams get a little bit better because of that, because for whatever reason, he just hasn't had it in the 9th inning specifically this year.
Right, and that's a fair point. And I will say this, you know, I'm really not still concerned about that rotation. Yeah, they got Fried. That's an awesome guy. And Rodon's having a great year. But after that, man, they really did need that Sandy Alcantara trade or some sort of trade for a starting pitcher. And they didn't get it. They still got as their 3, Cam Schittler. Then they got Will Warren. I know I'm saying Schittler. Or Shitter, excuse me. That's the correct pronunciation. Marcus Stroman. Like, they're still not deep in the rotation. So if they're losing ball games in the innings 1 through 5, it doesn't matter how good your bullpen is because you still need that offense to catch up. Yeah. Do you like the moves they made with the offense? They did go out and they did acquire a really sneaky guy. Not great with the bat, but a Jose Caballero they got, Ahmed Rosario. Literally, almost their whole bench is just new guys that they acquired, and Ryan McMahon. Do you think that changes anything?
Well, before I answer that, Sophie says Boone said Williams will still be the closer. I find that so wild to me.
That's that thing where it's like you committed to your dude. And you want him to close.
I mean, if that's the route they're gonna go in, then fine, do it. Like from a Jays fan perspective, like it'll be fun to watch over here. That's not how I would run things, but interesting that he came out. I guess obviously like now there is the question of who's it gonna be now that you got two back end dudes, but yeah, wild that they would go in that direction. Yankees went very clearly into the we want to prevent runs side of things. At this trade deadline, they
deeper.
Exactly. They went heavy into the defense and the bench, and they went heavy into the pen. And I think they definitely got better. But it all comes back to the Aaron Judge injury at this point because the offense was slowing down horrendously prior to or even when Aaron Judge was healthy. But then also you got the Aaron Judge injury. So I am a little bit more concerned about the Yankees than I was, but I still think that they are more incomplete than they need to be to go and to win a World Series.
For me, it felt like they threw and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They just threw a bunch of shit at the wall, especially in that lineup, and they're hoping it works out. We'll see if it does. But if they don't have Aaron Judge and he's not 100%, it doesn't matter how good your pen is.
The one team in the American League that I am certainly paying a lot more attention to is going to be the Seattle Mariners over there. Now, a strong argument can be made for the Houston Astros because Houston is always Houston and they're always going to be good. And they reconnected with Carlos Correa, so they will likely turn him into, Carlos Correa of the old. But Seattle, for me, is such a well-built team, especially in the playoffs. And I brought this up. I forget who I was talking to. Maybe it was JD Bunkus. Maybe it was Mike or one of them anyways.
Such a blur yesterday.
Yeah, such a blur. But Seattle's a scary squad that I do not want to see Toronto go up against. No. We need to get the bye so you don't run into this squad because this squad will find a way to win.
Look at the overalls right here by Fangraphs of these batters. Randy, 37. Cal Raleigh, 3. You got Julio Rodriguez, maybe not the same dude as he was before, but he's starting to pick it up. 38. Josh Naylor, 41. Eugenio Suarez, 12. Jorge Polanco, 98. That's a deep lineup, and I don't want to face those guys. Like, if our starters that are threes going up against these guys and they've been shaky, man, that could be game over before the fourth inning.
And it's a home run hitting lineup as well. Every single one of those guys can hit bombs. I mean, even pretty sure in years prior, even J.P. Crawford's been capable of hitting a couple. So a Rosarena, Cal Raleigh, Julio, Naylor, Eugenio, like that top five there, they can hit bombs. And that's something that the Toronto Blue Jays, we are going to struggle to deal with, even from a pitching staff, right? You see, our good pitchers still give up home runs. And then their starters are top tier. Logan Gilbert's back. He's starting to turn it around. Brian Wu is incredible. You got Kirby, Louis Castillo. This is a really good ball team, and this is the squad that I think potentially improved the most from the American League.
In the American League, absolutely. I'm scared. I'm with you. I don't want to face them in the playoffs.
But it's why you need the bye.
That's why you need the bye, right? Because if you do that, then at least we have 5 games to potentially beat them if we get somehow with them. So they're the big winners for me. Not worried about the Yankees. The Boston Red Sox, if we're still on the American League train, they didn't do a whole lot, so I'm kind of feeling great about that. Robbie Hyde, shout out to him. He was on Twitter. He had a funny-ass tweet where he was like, oh, whenever someone calls our GM, it's a gif of someone farting in a phone.
Yeah.
That made my morning, man. That guy's hilarious. Go follow Robbie Hyde. But they didn't do anything. And then you're looking around as well. Tigers did a decent amount enough to be competitive, but Texas didn't do anything, so I feel pretty good at where the Blue Jays are at.
Tier ranking the teams that I would prefer the Toronto Blue Jays to be up against in a postseason race, or in the postseason, excuse me. Seattle and Astros, I don't want to see. Boston and Yankees, I do want to see.
Yes.
Like, if that was going to be our first series, I would prefer to go up against the American League East teams rather than the American League West teams. Because
how about the Tigers? Where would you put them?
Well, the Tigers, I still think that the Tigers are very, very good, but we did beat them, right? We did beat them in their home ballpark, so I mean,
they were cold, but
they were very cold. So it would depend on how they're playing when we get there. But I would have to put the Tigers somewhere in the middle. I'd still rather play the Yankees or the Red Sox compared to both of those.
Testing. Oh, my mic is like extremely low. Hold on one second. Someone said turn my mic on.
Wow, yeah, we've been only going for 37 minutes.
Thank
and
you.
We just realized that.
All right, it was kind of low yesterday too. I found during the stream, but whatever.
Weird.
Here we are. All right, let's give a quick shout out to another sponsor here, everybody. As we transition, we've got pizza. You saw it yesterday, everybody. The pizza sponsor is here, and it is here for a while. Are you craving a serious slice? Pizza's got you covered with the double XL 3-topping pizzas. That's what you saw on the table right there. It was massive.
They were
Took up
big.
the whole thing. It's just under $20. It's hot, fresh, and this is a big deal, everybody. Don't wait. Swing by Pizza today and order your pizza on the app or online at pizzapizza.ca. Pizza, because everyone deserves pizza.
100%. And I should be having some pizza this evening for our what's going to be the weekly Friday pizza party at Blue Jays Today, doing the watch alongs.
Hell yeah.
Now
More
sometimes it might not necessarily be on Friday, but we're gonna call it the weekly Friday pizza
it's
party.
It's a pizza party
because you know what? It just Friday is pizza day. It's like that's just the universal understanding.
You ever have pizza days when you're in like middle school growing up or
100%,
something? Oh yeah, pizza day on Fridays.
And it's Friday, right?
Yeah,
and my
always
family
Friday.
too. Like my family used to order pizza on Friday night. It was like that was the weekly tradition, right?
Yo, you know what's so funny?
Night.
I always go and get can't say them now. I always go and get pizza on Fridays, but now I can have pizza.
Exactly. We will be having it delivered to us during the stream tonight. So I'm going to be live for that, folks. Come tune in. Get some pizza as well along with us.
Let's move on. Let's talk about those injuries because we had someone ask about the injury updates. There are a few of them, but there should be some guys coming back with some good news. George Springer obviously is one. He's missed a few games, but the expectation is that he shouldn't be hitting the IL and he should be back anytime soon. I probably suspect that, he didn't play in the doubleheader, of course, because it just happened, and then he had a day game after a night game. Don't really want to play that guy after that. Have an off day, and now it's Friday. I should expect that George Springer will be back.
Yeah, he's going to be back sooner rather than later. I mean, the guy's been on the bench the entirety of the time, and it was a scary. Yeah,
it was like shoulder head.
Yeah,
so
he
took
wasn't
some velo down there.
Yeah, but he should be okay. Quick shout out to True North Strong and Free. Love the Varland pickup. Us as well, my guy. W's in the chat there for True North, strong and free. We kept on to Ernie Clement as well, so you should be very happy about that. Yeah. Alejandro Kirk, potentially early August. When they made that trade for the catcher, we were all like, oh gosh, does this mean that Alejandro is, more injured than we thought? No, like that guy is honestly, I don't know if we're ever going to see him up in the major league, to be completely honest. Like,
we have to be severely injured.
Severely injured. That's a minor leaguer of minor leaguers. He's down there, and I think that, honestly, that trade was more to free up the roster spot for the Toronto Blue Jays because they knew that they were going to be bringing in Ty France and somebody, or bringing in some more guys. And, of course, you're going to have George Springer and all these dudes coming back. So that's what happened there. But Alejandro Kirk, still on the same timeline as we initially thought. 7-day IL feels right. He went on there on July 27th, so we're 4 or 5 days in at this point. I mean, could be after this series.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, he might do a rehab game on August 2nd, and if everything goes well, he'll be literally here for the Sunday game, which is very well needed because that offense looked kind of cold without him, although Lucas pulled up his pants and carried the team on his back in that final game, but we'll need him nonetheless against Kansas City, who's got very good starting pitching. Varsho. Can we finally see Varsho coming back? We might see him today, everybody. Literally expect to return August 1st, scheduled to play AAA on July 29th, 30th. We saw those. He's been popping home runs.
Yeah.
This is what always gets me, man. I get it, they're on some sort of like time schedule and some, they need these many at-bats and blah, 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 and they need these many reps in the outfield. But it's like, this guy's ripping home runs right now. I think he's ready to go, and we need some pop, especially during that series in Baltimore. I'm like, man, why couldn't we have Varsho right now ripping home runs? But he could be back today, or he should be back today. That'll be exciting.
I'm not expecting a whole lot out of Varsho from the offensive side of things, and I've never really have. After that first year, I kind of just admitted to myself, it's like, I'm not going to put any pressure on the guy to do anything offensively, but should he want to come in and start hitting some home runs, that feels like a major trade deadline boost right there.
Yeah.
And when he was up for the limited time that he was, 92 at-bats, the guy had 8 bombs and an OPS of 983. Honestly, very similar slash line to the Taylor Ward that we were looking at. Low batting average, high slug. If you want to come and you want to do that whilst also making elite plays out there in the outfield, I am going to be more than content.
Yeah, and for the Blue Jays perspective, like, the last time we had Varsho, he was actually a big factor, and he was in the middle of the lineup because, like, we really needed him. But then as the season progressed without him, you saw guys really pick it up and down the lineup. So when you're looking at this lineup for the Blue Jays, Varsho might be slotted in that 6th spot right behind. So. Yeah, probably. Like, I'd probably still play. I'd definitely play Bo Bichette and Barger over top of Dalton Varsho. And then when you got Kirk back, I'd probably even move him down even further. 7th spot, right? I would have, so that feels like a low pressure situation, kind of similar to the Jimmy Garcia thing, where we don't need you to be the guy. You're not in a big spot right here. Just be Dalton Varsho, pop a couple homers down the bottom of the lineup, and really shake things up.
Exactly, and that is just the one thing that, even though we're 15th in home runs, getting somebody into that lineup that can occasionally hit one like Varsho, it is going to be a big help. Final update right here. Alek Manoah, potentially late August. Now, once again, I'm not holding my breath at all because we just got Shane Bieber.
Yeah.
The rotation is full. Even if Alek Manoah is healthy and ready to go, where do you put him? Where is he getting? I don't even know. Like, I don't know how we get him on the field, actually.
Like, honestly, this is one of those things where we're going to take our time with it. If there's an injury, God forbid, to the rotation, okay, there's your insurance right there coming in late August.
Exactly.
Right? Boom. If someone needs to hit the 15-day IL, boom, there's Alek Manoah. But if everything's going great and they're all healthy and they're all pitching great,
I think he just stays there for a while.
Yeah. But you do have to activate him after a certain point on the 60-day IL after he begins his rehab stint, which is 30 days. So when we cross that bridge, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Are we gonna bring him up? Is he gonna go in the pen? Is Eric Lauer going to the pen? I don't know what's going on.
You can't put Eric Lauer.
I know you can't, but it's like, who do you put in the pen? I don't know.
I actually don't know.
Who has experience pitching out of the pen? Only Eric Lauer. So that's the thing. I agree with you, but that's why it's one of those bridges we got to cross.
Yes, yeah. We don't have enough information to decide what to do right now. So that's where we're at with Alek Manoah. Also, I love this question from Eric Shepard. What team did Preller trade his mom to? Yo, AJ Preller. AJ Preller is an animal.
No, we talk about Double-A, like, he's got to step aside. AJ Preller is way better.
Double A doesn't hold a flame to AJ Preller. That guy is an absolute psychopath.
Double A had one really good
trade
deadline. AJ Preller's been doing it.
Well, and here's the thing. I actually don't even know if it's a good trade deadline or not. Because, like, in this entire time that he has, been there for the San Diego Padres, it's not like they've won the World Series. And they have traded away a lot of talent. Granted, they still have a good baseball team. They have good players. But the number 3 overall prospect in baseball, plus your, what was it? It was your 3rd in your system, and then they traded away their 6th in their system at one point. And he emptied the clip.
He doesn't care. And you brought it up before. Actually, you brought it up on Bad for Baseball.
Yeah.
I was just like, he literally has traded away like an all-star team.
Hey, seriously.
So, I mean, hey, got to give him credit for the big kahunas, He's trying to get...
It's exciting.
That's how he builds his team. And his thing, his team's always winning.
Yeah.
Because they're always just going in and trading away prospects for actual ready MLB players. Crazy. Crazy how that works, right?
It is, man. But yeah, that dude is an absolute psychopath. From an outsider looking in, I think it's just so entertaining. I don't know if I'd want my team to do that or not. Like, it'd be fun as all holy hell, but like,
if we win,
If we win, I don't care, right?
A couple of other quick hitters right here. Obviously, Ryan Burr's gone forever. Bowden Francis got moved to the 60 IL. He's going to be gone for a long, long time. I honestly don't expect him to be back anytime soon.
No.
Jimenez will be back, and this is kind of interesting because you look at the roster and you're thinking, okay, well, who do you set down? Probably Leo Jimenez has got to go, but if you're bringing back Dalton Varsho, now you're running into a problem. Who goes for Dalton Varsho? Who's the replacement? Obviously, let's pretend Leo Jimenez is not the question because you got to replace another guy. Who's gone?
Okay, sorry. Leo's gone.
Yes, and now because you got to bring back Jimenez, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then Dalton Varsho comes back. Who else goes? Someone's got to go. That's the problem.
It's got to be.
That's a problem.
I mean, is it Miles Straw at this point? Like, is it his time?
See, you'd have to DFA him, and I don't know if they're willing to do that. Feels like
it's Miles Straw or Davis Schneider to me. Then
I know that's the thing. It's like Davis Schneider's probably gone, ladies and gentlemen. He's probably going to have to go.
It's one of those two. It's like either you cut Miles Straw outright or you send Davis Schneider down. Yeah. That's the two options.
That's what it is, right? And I don't know if they're willing to cut Miles Straw outright. Probably Davis gone, which is a great problem because he's been so good for the Jays since coming back up. Final quick hitters right here as I find my page again. Where the heck did it go? Here it is.
Also, September call-ups, that's the thing as well.
That's also a thing.
Feels like we're getting to that point where we need to expand the roster because
we have too many good players.
We got too many good players.
Too many good players.
Too many good players right now.
Santander has still yet to throw from each side, but I did hear something. I don't think they have it here. I did hear something that he's progressing, whatever that means, but still hasn't really swung a bat yet.
I've heard that he's progressing for a long time
Exactly.
now. I don't know how much progress is actually involved in the progressing.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
To be honest.
And then also the bullpen guys were up earlier. Jimmy Garcia potentially in August. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. And then Nick Sandlin was supposed to be back now, but he hasn't yet. So maybe there's a move today coming. We will see.
Interesting right there, guys. So that is all the latest Toronto Blue Jays injury updates as it stands post-trade deadline. They only have one thing left to do, folks, and that is to win some baseball games. We're going to get into the upcoming series, but before we do, let's give a quick shout-out to the other sponsor of Blue Jays today. We're going nuts, folks. It is Greta Bar. They've been on before. They are back again, our hospitality partner. Go check out Greta Bar, guys. This weekend, actually, they're doing something with Caravana. So they have a Toronto food truck. It's like in the Toronto Food Truck Festival from August 1st to August 4th. So that is today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Quick math right there. And they're in association with Caravana as well. So should you be in and around Caravana, should you be at the Toronto Food Truck Festival, Greta will be there too. But if you don't want to go to either of those things, then of course they're going to be on King and Portland Street.
Yeah.
And it is awesome.
It's a great place if you want to go play some arcade games, have a night out with the friends, grab some food, grab some drinks. It's a lot of fun. 590 King Street West, Greta Bar. Let the games begin, everybody. And let the games begin for your Toronto Blue Jays.
One thing left to do, and it's win baseball games.
That's right.
I want to make it to October, and I want to feel good about this ball club.
That's right.
They are up against the Kansas City Royals this evening. I will be live for the game at 7 p.m. doing our little pizza party, hanging out with y'all. So please come on in. If you are watching this game, you can come hang out with me. Kansas City, 54-55. I wanted them to be sellers. I desperately wanted Chris Bubic. They decided that they weren't going to do it. But we got to make them pay, folks. We got to make them pay for that terrible managerial decision. You should have given us your guys. You should have sold. It feels like we are going to be having, who's on the bump today?
It'll be Kevin Gausman on the bump against Waka. Kevin Gausman's been lights out. Third best in the last 14 days.
The last 5-6 starts from Kevin Gausman have been pretty dominant.
Yeah, and he's up against Michael Waka. That's a nice little headshot right there with a smirky smile. We got the game logs. How's he been doing lately? Pretty solid. He's Michael Waka. But we're back in Toronto. For me, this feels like you got to get it off to a right start. Get the W. Get the W.
They were struggling a little bit, kind of limping into the trade deadline there. They were incredibly hot, and then it was, oh gosh, 4-game skid. Just managed to claw out a win prior to Thursday yesterday. I desperately want them to get out of the gate swinging. So just because of that, and this is a pure bias selection, I am going to say that the Toronto Blue Jays win. I do think that there is some stats to back it up, though. We're at home. That's a 54-55 ball club. Toronto, large part of the season, has still been awesome. And our guys should be feeling instilled with a sense of confidence right now. Like they should be feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
We just went out and we bought some people. Kansas City, what'd you guys do? A whole lot of nothing.
Hey, I think they got Randall the Handle, actually.
Was that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did get. So we'll see Randall the Handle this weekend.
Randall Gritchick, man.
Also, something to note for them, their offense is getting a little bit hotter right now. They're 6th in baseball in OPS, but not as good as the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's remind you of that. Yeah. We're the best offense in baseball.
30 days, number one. So Toronto's going to keep it up tonight. I say Blue Jays win this thing. I say Blue Jays win 5-3.
Yeah, it's gonna be a solid. That feels right. 5-3 is good. And then on Saturday, you've got Noah Cameron, and he's gonna be up against, as I flash it up here, I believe it is Max Scherzer. It is Max Scherzer. Probable, of course. We have to decide this when they announce the rotation. Max Scherzer and Cameron. I don't know. Maybe we take an L here. How's Cameron been doing lately?
Cameron's been pretty good. 26-year-old guy, a very low ERA right there. Not as many innings as some of the other starters, but still, the guy's been solid. But Max Scherzer in his last start was top-tier vintage Max Scherzer. That was, though, against a very cold lineup. This is going to be a telling start, I think, for me, because he's running into a hot offense now, or an offense that is doing well. Because the last start that you had, it's like, oh, we could kind of chalk this up to this being a cold offense with those 11 strikeouts. I really want Scherzer to do well here, but I am going to say that we lose this one and Scherzer gives up 4 runs.
And this is going to be another very telling start for Scherzer in terms of his own personal development towards the postseason. If we're going to have you have a chance to pitch in the postseason, go beat the Kansas City Royals, who have a hot bat. You should beat the Kansas City Royals. You got to beat the Kansas City Royals, Blue Jays, and Max Scherzer. So if you can go out there, build off what you did. Now, it's hard to build off of 11 strikeouts, but go for another 6 innings. Keep it under 3 earned runs. That's a good start. Give me a quality start, Max Scherzer, and we're laughing.
I would feel a lot more confident about potentially pitching him the postseason. Granted, he's still got time. We got 2 months until postseason baseball, so we still got lots of time to figure out who that starter is going to be. But yeah, we got to start stringing the good starts together if we want Max Scherzer to be that guy.
Agreed.
Final game, Seth Lugo on the bump. Another tough one. Who's on the bump for Toronto?
Yeah, we've got Chris Bassett on the bump, and Bassett has been struggling lately, ladies and gentlemen. Man. Struggling a little bit lately. He's so up and down, Chris Bassett, honestly.
Why does Kansas City have 3 really good starters?
Dude, their starters are insane.
Yeah.
But it's always been the offense, and the reason why they bought in is because their offense got super hot, and they started winning games. That's the problem. He's amazing. Seth Lugo
I might say we lose this series. I might say that.
You know what? He's been struggling lately. We win. Bassett has a vintage performance. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're just finding anything.
I'm fine. He's been struggling lately. So,
that's true.
You know, I'm gonna say we win. We find the momentum. We're feeling good. Kirk is back.
This is all I needed to convince me. Bassett is a lead at home. On the road, Chris Bassett, for whatever reason, just can't seem to figure it out. At home, the guy looks like Cy Young caliber, quite literally. So we were joking around yesterday with somebody. I mean, Chris Bassett, we just got to leave you in Toronto. You don't need to come on the road trips, and you can just be the home guy. Yeah, look at this
he's amazing at home.
2.65 ERA at home. He's 8-0. So we win every single start.
Yeah, we win.
On the road, he's got a 6.45 ERA. Just falls off a cliff. So I will take Chris Bassett at home. Blue Jays win this series 2-1. What does that make a record? 66 and
65, I think.
65? We had 63 wins or 64? I thought we were at 64 wins. Am I tripping?
We are at 64. Oh, sorry. 66 then. Yeah,
66 and something.
47?
47. 66 and 47. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good with less than 2 months to go until postseason.
Still on top of the AL. Still on top of the AL East. Let's get it going, guys. Quick shout out here to Weston with the 279 dono saying Bieber will start in Dodgers series, which is the following weekend. That's probably a good matchup actually right there in terms of his timeline.
Yes.
For coming back.
So that's a scary matchup though for him. First start back in years. Hey, if you can dominate the LA Dodgers.
That's headlines right there.
That is, quite literally, that's where I'm going to get irresponsibly hype if Shane Bieber comes out and dominates the LA Dodgers. Folks, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. I'm going to be live later this evening at 7 p.m. to watch the Toronto Blue Jays. Hopefully deliver it to the Kansas City Royals and potentially even show off some of their fancy, shiny new toys that they acquired at the trade deadline.
Yeah, can't wait, guys. It's going to be a real fun season down the stretch. 2 more months to go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's lock in. Let's get excited. Let's support the boys, and let's have an incredible year, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
As always,
go Jays, go!